I'm Todd Gould from the Barbara Gould Foundation. I want to thank you for visiting our Racing to Rio the Movie Indiegogo site. Please join us on our journey as we document USA-1 sonar sailor Brad Kendall's pursuit of Paralympic gold in Rio 2016 and see the amazing legacy that he leaves in his wake. Along the way, we will be inspired by the kids at Brad's Never Say Never Pirate Camp for Disabled Youth. You will also meet Jen French, Paralympic sailing medalist in the 2008 Beijing Games and again in 2012 in London. Having lived the dream, Jen gives back through the Warrior Sailing Program. Founded by Jen, Warrior Sailing introduces active military and veterans with disabilities to sailing for sport and healing. Finally, this is all set in the backdrop of the unsung sailing mecca of Clearwater, St Petersburg, Florida, one of 3 official training sites in the U.S. for Olympic and Paralympic athletes. Anchoring this area is the Clearwater Community Sailing Center, setting the space for training, international competition, and hosting its own sailing programs for youth and adults. Highlighted at the center is Camp Awesome, where kids on the Asperger's and autism spectrum learn independence, leadership and skills, and the art of sailing. Now, please enjoy a few words from Brad about sailing, competing, and life.
We have seen what never giving up means. A young man who has overcome great challenges and an inspiration for all of us. Please welcome sailing great Brad Kendell.
When I pulled up this morning, I didn't expect this many kids, and it's really fantastic to see you all out here. And I think being able to lead yourself out on the water and take control and have that freedom and knowing where the wind's coming from and all the things that go along with sailing that you all are learning right now is a huge lesson in life.
My name is Brad Kendell. I'm on the U.S. sailing team, and I am the main sheet trimmer on the US-1 sonar team. I started sailing when I was 7 years old, so I sailed competitively, and I always wanted to be a competitor in the sailing program. And started when I was 7 years old here in Clearwater Yacht Club.
So growing up here in Clearwater, being born in Clearwater, just a wonderful place to be. Been all around the world, and I always loved coming back here. Went to Clearwater High School and went through there. Graduated there in '99, and then went on to USF and graduated there at USF. After USF, 3 months later, I was in a very bad accident. I was in a plane crash. We were coming back in. I was a pilot, and we were flying back from Jacksonville and landing here in Clearwater, and wind shear hit us, and luckily no one on the ground was hurt. And unfortunately, my dad was in the front, and a friend of mine was also in the front, and they both didn't make it. But I was able to crawl out of the back of the plane and get out of the plane. So getting out of the hospital was one of my biggest things that I knew I had to do. I had to get out of there and get back to life and get back on the water like you all are doing today.
I started in Paralympic sailing in 2005, so it's been about 10 years now. It was after my accident in 2003 and 2004 when I recovered and hopped in a sailboat and took to it, like riding a bike. I grew up in a sailing family, and my dad had always sailed, and he sailed around the world on Kioloa. So we had a lot of friends that still sailed, and a good friend came up to me and said, "Hey, I think you can get into this Paralympic sailing program. Why don't you go down to St Pete Yacht Club? There's some people there, they're having a little regatta."
Went down to St. Pete, met some people, and they said, "Why don't you hop on the boat?" I said, "All right." Got right back on the boat, and they invited me to sail with them on their team. And we did a campaign that quarter for the Paralympics. Unfortunately, didn't make it because we were still kind of new, and kept sailing. And another team invited me to hop on their boat. Now we're campaigning to go to Rio next year.
Thank you for taking the time to find out more about Racing to Rio the movie. Please select one of the donation options today and join us as we join Brad on his race to Rio and much, much more.